Alex Pereira has officially vacated his light heavyweight title belt, and it looks like all roads are leading to the White House against a super fight opponent in John Bones Jones. Should the fight happen? Should it not? Will Alex Pereira go down as the GOAT if he achieves three-weight world championship status? Remains to be seen. Plus, we also look at Lonnie Kavanagh as he lights up Mexico, getting a fantastic dominant win against Brandon Moreno. What next for the two flyweights? And then also we speak about Arman Tsarukyan, who can't just stay out of the media, can't stay out of the headlines as he ignites a massive brawl at RAF at the weekend. People, it's MMA Monday Live. Sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Yes, lovely people. Hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel on the road to 8,000 subs. So please subscribe if you're new to the channel. And if you're returning, you know what to do, guys. Smash that like button and make sure you get involved in the conversation. No better place to start than with Alex Poitin Pereira. Recently recaptured his light heavyweight title belt against Magomed Ankalaev in about as dominant victory as you can get. Lost the first fight. Many people doubted him going into the second fight. However, he went out there like a man possessed and showed that the first time was indeed out of character of him as he destroyed Magomed Ankalaev in the first round via TKO and then regained his light heavyweight belt, winning it for the second time after losing it to Ankalaev. He's a two-weight world champion. He beat Israel Adesanya at 185 pounds, then lost and then went up to 205 and then won the belt against Yuri Prochazka, defended it multiple times, lost it against Ankalaev and won it back. And he's been hinting at this for a while, guys. He's been saying it for a while. Heavyweight, heavyweight, heavyweight. Let's be real. Us as fans, we've all been saying it. Alex Pereira heavyweight. Alex Pereira heavyweight. He cleaned out 205. In fact, the only person he didn't go through that maybe you'd argue, oh, maybe we want to see the fight, is Carlos Solberg. And Carlos Solberg is rightfully getting a title shot against Yuri Prochazka. But I don't think there was, outside of the hardcore fans, I don't think there was a clamor or a real desire to see that fight between him and Carlos Solberg. I think many people thought it was a foregone conclusion. I don't. I think there are challenges and obstacles that Carlos Solberg would have provided for Alex Pereira, but I do think Alex Pereira would have been the overwhelming favorite going into that fight. Big up yourself, Cal. Hope you're well, brother. Big up to Liam. Big up to Martin in the chat as well. But he's always spoken about heavyweight, and for a long time it looked like it would be him versus Aspinall. But then when John Jones beat Stipe, he first put the idea out there saying he'd like to fight Alex Pereira in a super fight. Dana White shut it down, saying his next fight would be against Tom Aspinall. He relinquished the belt. Tom Aspinall fought against Cyril Gane after being promoted to undisputed champion. And then he had to fight Cyril Gane, had his eyes poked, and has been out of action since. Not his fault. Cyril Gane's fault. But Tom Aspinall has been the one who's been treated the worst. And now we're in a situation where Dana White has been constantly shutting down the idea of John Jones fighting Alex Pereira at the White House. And now it looks like it might happen. Talks are happening. But let me run you through a timeline of events, guys. John Jones came out and said that he doesn't know if he'll fight again because he has arthritis in his hip. Then said that the person who posted that clip of him explaining that is an a-hole. Also said he did turn down a 30 mil and was upset to do so. Says he's a proud American, that he should be representing America at the White House. He's going to get what he wants, isn't he? And look, as a fight fan, I'm intrigued to see Jones versus Pereira. I am. because it's literally your wrestler versus your striker. In fact, no, that's very disingenuous of me to do that to Jones. He's an all-round specialist. Like, let's just be real about it. Is he as good as a pure striker as that's Pereira? No. But his numbers don't lie either. He lands very, very high significant number of strikes on his opponent and barely takes any damages in these fights. And the only time we've really seen him take damage is against Alexander Gustafsson, and we saw at a rematch when he was dialed in. Even in the fights against Daniel Cormier, he wasn't taking massive damage. Doesn't take massive damage. Dominic Reyes took some big shots in there. Doesn't take massive damage. Now, if this fight was at 205 for the belt at 205, yeah, I'd be all right with it. I'd be all right with it because Jones would be having to sacrifice a weight cut, wouldn't be in the heavyweight division situation, but that's not happening. Jones getting a title shot, potentially at heavyweight for an interim or vacant UFC belt, given what he did and has done, I think it sets a really bad precedent. Not just for Dana White, but for the organization. And look, I have my theory that I think Dana White might actually be off this year. That this might be his last year in the UFC, because what else is there left for him to accomplish? If he successfully navigates and produces the White House card, what else is there for him to do? He would have done everything. And kudos to Dana. He built this company from the ground up, him and the Fertittas, and they've taken it to a whole nother level, whereby in the same way people refer to pro wrestling as WWE, people refer to MMA as UFC. That in itself shows the magnitude of what Dana White and the Fertittas and other partners have done to build this sport and to build this brand. But you can't keep on rewarding someone who constantly disrespects the organization and the sport. From drug tests to stuff happening outside the cage, to inconsistencies with things he says about fighting, to holding up divisions and holding up fights and saying he'll do one thing and then not do another. And I get fighting is a selfish sport. It has to be. But if you're going to be selfish, at least be honest about it. And if you are going to be selfish, then the organization has a right to look out for their needs as well. Now, you could argue in their needs is, well, we can put on Jones versus Pereira, which is a mega fight, and it is. Will Jones get 30 mil from this fight? I doubt it. Does he need 30 mil? No. He can probably get a light 15 mil. Light 15 mil. Light 15 mil. It's not 30, but it's 15. I guarantee you Jones would be absolutely fine with 15. Not just that, I think this is a much, much better matchup stylistically for Jones as well. Look, Pereira is a phenomenon. We saw what he did at 85, saw what he's doing at 205, and now it looks like he moved up to heavyweight. Phenomenon. When he touches you on your chin, it's night-night. His takedown defense has been very good. Didn't even get taken down once against Ankalaev. He's never been submitted in the cage. He's only been stopped via strikes, and that was via Izzy Adesanya. And Adesanya could do that to anyone once they get overconfident and leave themselves open like that. The only other time he's lost is via decision to Ankalaev in a fight where it's probably ended 3-2 and he had an off night. Jones is a different animal and Jones is a different beast. Now, watching Jones' last couple of fights against Stipe and against Silgan, he has slowed down a lot. He has. But that doesn't mean he's slow. Just because someone slows down doesn't mean they're slow. Now, I'll use Usain Bolt as an example. Usain Bolt isn't as fast as he was in 2012. Guarantee you none of us are beating him in a race, though. Especially if he dialed in. Jones is a very tough matchup for Pereira. And not just because of the takedown threat, but because of the ground and pound, the submission, the IQ, the experience, everything culminating, plus the big fight experience. You see when, you know, like Pereira stands there in the cage and stares down his opponent and they seem to get caught in a trance. That ain't going to affect Jones. I guarantee you Jones doesn't even acknowledge him. Jones will go in the cage, do a one-handed cartwheel, do his stretches, do his jumps. He'll turn his back to Pereira and continue to get on with things. Then he'll turn around with Bruce Buffer's announcing him. He'll give Bruce Buffer a little fist bump. Then they'll touch gloves. He'll go back to his corner and he'll crawl out of the corner like he does. That won't phase Jones. He's seen everything. Daniel Cormier, Olympic wrestler, he's seen that. Shogun Hua, seen that. Rashad, seen that. Lyoto, seen that. There's nothing he's seen in the cage that, in my opinion, Alex is going to bring different. The only difference is I don't think Jones has fought someone with genuine one-punch knockout power, whereas Pereira has that. Which is why I'm so upset. God rest his soul, we never got to see Jones versus Anthony Rumble Johnson. Now, I'm not saying Rumble would have beaten him, but Rumble did often catch everyone in the first round. DC ate it. Would Jones have? I believe he would have, but I would have liked to have seen how that would have developed potentially. But Jones isn't going to be fazed by anything Alex brings to the table, in my opinion. But Alex has that equalizer. I look at John Jones. He's got the same skinny legs that I do. Can he take the calf kick? If he takes calf kicks, how does that affect him? But again, at the same time, Jones is very good in southpaw. So maybe he takes that away from Pereira and fights southpaw. And he uses his right hand, which is as his lead hand. Jones has got a very good and underrated jab as well. This is look, I'm excited for the actual matchup. I just don't like the circumstances around it. I don't think it should be for a belt for Jones. I think Alex Pereira absolutely deserves to fight for a belt. If you're going to do that fight, I think you have to do it with Garn. But the question to that is, should Garn get another shot right now? Unless it's Tom Aspinall, because there's unfinished business there. Ultimately, the heavyweight division is in flux at the moment. And do I want to see this fight between Jones and Pereira? Yeah, absolutely. I'm an MMA fan. Of course I do. I just don't know if Jones deserves it. And I don't know if Alex deserves to be in this circus of what the heavyweight division has become in the UFC. Now, on to the next topic, which is Lonnie Kavanagh. The Londoner travelled to Mexico to take a short notice fight against Brandon Moreno. I'm going to be honest with you. I followed Kavanagh. I like Kavanagh. I think he's really good. I just thought fight Moreno in Mexico on short notice at altitude would be a little bit too much of a problem. It was a problem. It was a problem for Moreno. Kavanagh dominated Brandon Moreno from start to finish. In fact, I can't think of a time in the fight where Moreno had him in any sort of trouble whatsoever. Grappling, comfortable. Striking, more than comfortable. Distance management, more than comfortable. Exchanges belong to Kavanagh. Kavanagh could be the future of UK MMA. And I'm not saying that lightly. I know Paddy Pimblett is obviously still far away from his prime. Lerone Murphy is on the cusp of a title shot. But Kavanagh, there's something special about him. There genuinely is. And again, I say this as a massive Lerone Murphy fan, who, in my opinion, should have had the last title shot instead of Lopez. I say this as a Paddy Pimblett fan. I say this as a Leon Edwards fan who's already captured gold. Kavanagh is good. And I have to give praise to the corner work as well, because they could have been really relaxed in there and said, look, you're winning the fight, just go and coast. No, they gave such clear and precise directions and instructions in that corner. Just clean work, man. Like, you look at Brandon Moreno's face after that fight, and he's been in wars with Davison Figueiredo. He's been in wars with Pantoja, Kai France, Tatsu Taira. Like, you name it, he's been in a war with that person. I ain't seen him look like that. And again, maybe the argument could be maybe he just had one too many wars and he's catching up with him now. But even when he lost to Brandon Royval, he didn't get pieced up and beaten up like this. You saw his face after the fight. He looked like he'd been battered from pillar to post, and he had been. And again, I say this as a Moreno fan, but I just think Kavanagh could be really special, and he's gonna put himself right in the mix now. And this is where the risk and reward comes in, because not many people expected Kavanagh to win this fight. So him taking this fight, all the risk was on Moreno. Now, granted, he's a fighter, so he's still not going to want to go out there and get embarrassed. Obviously, he's not going to want to lose. But if he did lose, not that he had a ready-made excuse, but he could have literally just gone, well, guys, look, you've seen what's happened. Like, this is why I'm in this situation. Now, you're looking at the state of the division. Joshua Van is going to be fighting Tatsu Taira. Pantoja's still out injured. Manel Cap's waiting for a title shot. He just beaten Brandon Royval at number 4. And Horiguchi's waiting for a next fight now. Kavanagh is going to be bumped up to number 6 in the division. Minimum. I would love to see him have a fight with Manel Cap. I think that'd be a great fight. Or even Horiguchi, the legend that is Horiguchi. But his options are so much more open now. And I'm so happy for him. Again, being a fellow Londoner, I'm over the moon for him in that gym. They do some hard work. I follow the work they do at that gym. I followed Kavanagh's career so far, and he's been clean, only 1 defeat. The likes of Brad Pickett at the gym. Obviously, Nathaniel Wood's going to be fighting at the London card towards the end of this month. Congratulations to Kavanagh, onwards and upwards, and I can't wait to see who he's matched up with next. But whoever he's matched up with next, just picture this, he could be one fight away from fighting for the belt. He wasn't even ranked in the top 15 before today, or before when the new rankings come out. That's crazy. That is crazy. But kudos to him and well done. On to the last man, and the man who just can't stay out the headlines no matter what he does. And that is, in my opinion, the second best, or the best, however you want to do it, lightweight on the planet, Arman Tsarukyan, who was involved in a brawl at RAF. Now, everything happened really quickly. He won the bout as he does, which is crazy because he's going out and beating pure wrestlers at their own game, which is, again, insane. But I understand why he ignited this one. Now, if you watch the bout back, there's a lot of times where he's poked in the eyes and stuff like that, which again is going to frustrate him. And then obviously he snaps. Now, the issue Tsarukyan's got is this isn't the first time something like this has happened. He had the brawl with Bobby Green, King Green, who also got a great win at the weekend, by the way. King Green in the hotel. He punched a fan, pulled out of a fight with Islam 24 hours notice. And now this. I'm going to be honest with you. I love Tsarukyan. He's one of my favorite fighters, and I think he should be fighting for the world title next. But he kind of shooting himself in the foot here. And not just for the UFC now. Who's to say the RAF say to him, you can't come back now? And that seemed to be his outlet. While he's not competing for the UFC, that seemed to be his outlet. Going to do some wrestling, which again was building his name even more, building his brand even more. He's going out and beating these wrestlers. Imagine what he could potentially do to Topuria if he gets him to the ground. He's building his mystique. But you can't build your mystique if no one wants you to fight for their promotion. And I don't want it to be a thing where we look back in 10 years and go, what if Tsarukyan never got cut from the UFC? What if Tsarukyan was able to fight these caliber of fighters? What would have happened? But he might be heading that direction. I look at someone like Makayev. Makayev, in my opinion, didn't have half as many things happen with him as Tsarukyan has had. Makayev was cut at the first chance they gave him. Now, I think Makayev should be brought back into the UFC. Bear in mind, imagine Makayev versus Kavanagh, by the way. That would be fireworks. But yeah, I just don't want to see Tsarukyan get cut from the UFC, because the best fights for him in that division are at the UFC. Usman Nurmagomedov, in my opinion, will be in the UFC by this time next year. Outside of him, you've just got AJ McKee, and you've got Paul Hughes. Those are the only 2 fights from outside the organization. So he needs to stay in the organization. He needs to stay away from this trouble. I'm not saying he's starting the trouble. The trouble is following him though. So just sit tight, get yourself back in the octagon and show everyone what you're about, because we don't want to lose a talent like Arman Tsarukyan. So people, I'm going to wrap up there. Please do smash that like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section regarding Jones and Pereira. Big up to each and every one of you in the chat. On the road to 8,000 subs. So if this is your first time, please do subscribe as well. And blessings, people. Till I see you again. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. And speak soon, everyone. Take care.